Yes, I'm live now. Welcome once again to another new video. This is Santu Sahu and you are watching Sahu's tutorial. Do join quickly. Good evening to everyone. Good evening everyone. Good evening. Hello, hi. This is Santu Sahu and you are watching Sahu's tutorial. Yes, live now. Okay. So in this YouTube video here, yeah. In this YouTube video here, I'll be covering some important MCQ questions. Okay, on English literature for the upcoming UGC NET exam. Do join quickly and let me share this link in my Telegram channel. Do join the Telegram channel, that is Santu Sahu UGC NET. Okay, so you will be notified in that Telegram channel where I will be conducting the YouTube class. Sometimes I also provide a PDF as well, and I also post quiz, okay, in the Telegram channel. So do join the Telegram channel. So good evening to everyone. Good evening. Good evening. So here I'll be covering, okay, some mock test, okay, some MCQ questions. So it's a kind of mock test for the upcoming UGC NET English Literature exam. Okay, do join quickly and let me know if everything is okay. I think everything is okay. I am audible and visible to everyone, and the PPT is visible too. Okay, before starting the session, this is my humble request to all the aspirants. Please make sure to subscribe the channel and tap the bell icon to get more notification and to stay updated as well. Hello and hi. Okay, let's begin the session here. I don't want to waste your time. Let's begin the session. Good evening to everyone. Yeah, let's begin the session, and this is going to be an important session. This is going to be a fruitful session. Do join quickly. Those who have not joined yet, you can watch this session. It will be available in the playlist. Those who have not joined yet, you can watch this session. It will be available in the playlist. Okay, you can watch this session later. So here I will be covering some important MCQ questions along with explanation for the upcoming UGC NET exam. So here is the first question on your screen. Here is the first question on your screen. Do answer in the comment box. Let's begin the session here with this wonderful questions. Questions on post-colonial literature. Questions on post-colonial literature. Let's begin the session here. And here is your first question. Who has been described as instrumental in the radicalization of post-colonialism? Okay, who has been described as instrumental in the radicalization of post-colonialism? A French fellow, Edward Said, Homike Bhabha, Robert J.C. Young. So who has been described as instrumental in the radicalization of post-colonialism? French Fanon, Edward Said, Homike Bhabha, Robert J.C. Young. What would be the right answer? Do you like the session? Share with friends as well. Okay. Good evening, Ram. Good evening. So, who has been described here as the instrumental and the radicalization of post-colonialism? Here, the right answer is, what would be the right answer? It is. So, you see, here, it is, okay, underneath is in French Fanon. Okay. Described as instrumental in the radicalization of post-colonialism, it is here Robert Young. Okay, the English post-colonial critic. Okay, Robert J.C. Young has been described as instrumental in the radicalization of post-colonialism, and here is the explanation. Young, that is Robert Young, works has been described as being at least partially instrumental in the radicalization of post-colonialism. So here it is here Robert J.C. Young. Okay, so here D is the right answer. Okay, let's move to the question number 2. In which book did Robert J.C. Young, that is who was one of the prominent critics of post-colonial, English post-colonial, first characterized post-colonial theory as a field in itself? In which book did Robert J.C. Young first characterize post-colonial theory as a field in itself? Post-colonialism, an historical introduction, wide mythologies, writing history and the West, colonial desire, post-colonialism, a very short introduction. Remember, all these works are by Robert J.C. Young. Okay, these are all works by Robert J.C. Young, and he has written all these 4 works: Post-colonialism, an historical introduction, white mythologies, writing history and the West, colonial desire, Post-Colonialism and a very short introduction. These are all important works by the critic, the post-colonial critic Robert J.C. Young. Now your questions are, in which book did Robert J.C. Young first characterize post-colonial theory as a field in itself? Here the right answer is White Mythologies. White Mythologies, Writing History and the West. White Mythologies, Writing History and the West is the book where Robert J.C. Young had characterized post-colonial theory as a field in itself. So B is the right answer. These are all works by Robert J.C. Young. You should remember. Post-colonialism, a very short introduction. Post-colonialism, an historical introduction. Colonial desire and white mythologies. This is most important. This is most important. White mythologies, writing history and the West. This is more important. In 2015, Robert J.C. Young, together with Jean Khalfa, published a collection of writings. Okay, so they collaboratively had published a collection of writings by which influential figure. Okay, the options are Homi K. Bhabha, Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak, Franz Fanon, Edward Said. So in 2015, Robert J.C. Young, together with Jean Khalfa, published a collection of writings by which influential figure Homi K. Bhabha, Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak, Franz Fanon, and Edward Said, whose writings were published in 2015 by Robert J.C. Young together with Jean Khalfa. Here, the writings were actually by Franz Fanon. Okay, by Franz Fanon. Here, C is the right answer. Remember that Franz Fanon. Okay. And here is the explanation. In 2015, together with Jean Khalfa, Young, that is Robert Young, published a 680-page collection of writings by Franz Fanon. The first new work by Fanon to be published in over 50 years, which includes two previously unpublished plays, together with psychiatric and political essays, letters, and editorials from the weekly journals at the hospitals at St. Alban and Breda, as well as a complete list of Fanon's library and his annotation to his books. So in 2015, with Jean Khalfa, Robert Young had published a 680-page collection of writings by Franz Fanon. Okay, the first new work by Fanon to be published in over 50 years. Okay, in Colonial Desire, another important work by Young, explored the history of which concept? He has explored the history of which concept? Orientalism, hybridity, Marxism, Eurocentrism. In Colonial Desire, Young explored history of which concept? Orientalism, hybridity, Marxism, and Eurocentrism. Colonial Desire is one of the famous works by Young. Here the English post-colonial critic explored the history of which concept? Here in Colonial Desire, he has explored the history of hybridity. The history of hybridity. So here B is the history of hybridity. Here you see in Colonial Desire, it was published in 1995. Young examined the history of the concepts of hybridity and showing its genealogy through 19th century racial theory and 20th century linguistics prior to its counter appropriation and transformation into an innovative cultural and political concepts by post-colonial theorists in 1990s. So Colonial Desire by Young, where he has explored the history of the concepts of hybridity. Charles Kingsley wrote fascinating novels depicting social problems. Which of his novel deals with the side of his thinking? Now tell me, Alton Locke, The Water Babies, Hypatia, Hereward the Wake. Now you tell me. Charles Kingsley wrote fascinating novels depicting social problems. Which of his novel deals with this side of his thinking? Alton Locke, The Water Babies, Hypatia, Hereward the Wake. Charles Kingsley wrote fascinating novels depicting social problems. Which of his novels deals with the side of his thinking? Now you tell me. Are you all there? Are you watching all? Okay. So Charles Kingsley wrote fascinating novels depicting social problems. Which of his novel deals with this side of his thinking? Depicting social problems. So depicting social problems, the theme can be found in the novel Water Babies. The Water Babies, important one. Okay. So Water Babies, actually Water Babies, yeah. So you see the Water Babies. This is an important novel by Charles Kingsley. Okay, got it. The Water Babies is actually important novel. Got it. I can understand. Okay. You are in the PG. Someone has also not admitted in PG under AG. UG. So the Water Babies actually, okay. So Charles Kingsley here, the Water Babies is the right answer. You see the Water Babies having the subtitle. What is the subtitle? Okay, Subhranshu is saying Water Babies. Yeah, Water Babies, Subhranshu. So yeah, the Water Babies, a fairy tale for a land baby. Okay, a fairy tale for a land baby is a subtitle. Okay, the Water Babies, a fairy tale for a land baby is a children's novel by Charles Kingsley, written in 1862-1863 as a serial for Macmillan's magazine. It was first published in its entirely 1863. By the way, it was written as a part satire. It was written as part satire in support of Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species. When was it published? Origin of Species. Will you tell me? On the Origin of Species was published in which year? Tell me. 1850. Okay, 1858, 1859, 1849, 1860. In which year Origin of Species was published? You tell me. So it was written as a part of satire in support of Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species. The book was extremely popular in the United Kingdom as was mainstay of British children's literature for many decades, but eventually fell out of favor in America, in part due to its prejudice against the Irish, Jews, Catholics, and Americans. By the way, so the Water Babies is having a fairy tale for a land baby, and you see 1858, no, 1850, no. Tom is the character here. Tom is the character. Tom embarks on a series of adventures and lessons, enjoys the community of other water babies on St. Brendan's Island once he proves himself a moral creature. The major spiritual leader in this new world are the fairies of Mrs. Those You Would Be Done By. This is the long name. By the way, here you can see, no, it is not 1858, 1859. Okay? On the Origin of Species was published in 1859. The book, here is the ending, the interesting ending. The book ends with the caveat that it is only a fairy tale and the reader is to believe none of it, even if it is true. In the style of Victorian era novels, the Water Baby is a didactic moral fable. So it is a didactic moral fable. Didactic moral fable. In it, Kingsley expresses many of the common prejudices of the time period. And the book includes dismissive or insulting references to American Jews, blacks, and Catholics, particularly the Irish. Here you see the book had been intended in part as a satire, a tract against child labor. So here child labor, important theme. Okay, tract against child labor, as well as a serious critique of the closed-minded approaches of many scientists of the day in their response to Charles Darwin's ideas on evolution, which Kingsley had been one of his first praise. Okay, so Charles Kingsley actually defending the attack on Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Here Kingsley is defending Charles Darwin, and this has been intended as a part satire, a tract against child labor. Important, many things are directing moral fable. So which poem by Matthew Arnold is an incursion into the field of Norse mythology? Okay, Hollywood movie based on, okay, Hollywood movie है, ठीक है. Norse mythology. Which poem by Matthew Arnold is an incursion into the field of Norse mythology? Scholar Gypsy, Balder Deed, Sohrab and Rustam, Oberman. हॉलीवुड में मूवी है, ठीक है. Okay. In the upcoming days also probably I will be also making videos on UGC NET paper 1, okay, with MCQ questions, okay, as well. हॉलीवुड में मूवी है, मूवी you should know Subhrangshu. Have you heard the Loki? Have you heard the name of Loki? Okay, Loki. Subhrangshu, have not you heard the name Loki? Loki was banished. Loki was banished because he had murdered Balder. Okay, this is Norse mythology. Balder dead, isn't it? Balder dead. Okay, so here Balder Dead is a narrative poem with powerful tragic themes. Okay, yeah, Marvel. Okay, so Balder Dead is actually a narrative poem with powerful tragic themes, first published in 1855 by Matthew Arnold. This poem draws upon Norse. This poem draws upon Norse mythology. Yeah, also, yes, Marvel says, retelling the story of Odin's murder of Odin's son Balder, as brought about by the wicked machinations of Loki, blood brother to Odin. The evil Loki was quickly punished for murdering Balder by being exiled from Asgard. Still, it remains for the gods of the Aesir and the Vanir dwelling in Asgard to bury and mourn their dead. So, Balder Dead is a narrative poem with powerful tragic themes, first published in 1855 by Matthew Arnold. The poem draws upon Norse mythology that was retelling the story of the murder of Odin's son Balder, as brought out by wicked magician Loki. Loki had murdered. Okay, that's why he was punished, and he was also dethroned. In which poem by Shelley did he deal with the idea that church, state, and society prevented man's perfect happiness? He's criticizing. Okay, Shelley, Shelley was atheist. Sorry. In which poem here Shelley did deal with the idea that church, state, and society had prevented man's perfect happiness? No. UGC NET is a vast syllabus. Okay, so it is Shelley's Sensi. Okay, Sensi, a tragedy in 5 acts. A tragedy in 5 acts. This is the subtitle. A tragedy in 5 acts. Shelley's Sensi, a tragedy in 5 acts, having the subtitle. Sensi's subtitle is a tragedy in 5 acts. So in Sensi, Shelley has told this. The Sensi, a tragedy in 5 acts, published in 1820, is a verse drama. Again, it's a verse drama in 5 acts by P.B. Shelley, written in the summer of 1819 and inspired by a real Roman family, the house of Sensi, in particular Beatrix Sensi. Okay, Sensi or Sensi, jo bhi it is pronounced as. So Sensi is having a tragedy in 5 acts, published 1820, is a verse drama in 5 acts by P.B. Shelley, written in the summer 1819. And here, the horrific tragedy set in 1599 in Rome by young women executed for premeditated murder for her tyrannical father was a well-known true story handed down or orally documented in the Annal di Taldia, a 12-volume chronicle of Italian history written by Ludovico and Antonio Muratori in 1749. The events occurred during the pontificate of Pope Clement VIII. Shelley was first drawn to dramatize the tale after viewing a supposed portrait of Beatrix Sensi, then attributed to Guido Breni, a painting that intrigued Shelley's poetic imagination. It is now thought to be by Ginevra Cantufoli. So in that actually book he had told that he had the idea that it is the charts. These are the charts, states, and society had prevented man's perfect happiness. In which of his poems does T.S. Eliot write the following line? Speak to me, why do you never speak? Speak to me, why do you never speak? Oh, now, you tell me also. In which of the poems does T.S. Eliot write? Speak to me. Why do you never speak? Okay, so Anand is saying A. Do like the session as well. Guys, do like the session as well. Okay. Hmm. No, it is not Hollow Man. It is not As Wednesday. It is not none of these. It is the wasteland. In the wasteland, yeah, the wasteland. Speak to me, why do you never speak? Speak to me, why do you never speak? These lines are from the wasteland. Now tell me who has written Prometheus Bound? Tell me who has written Prometheus Bound? Prometheus Bound was written by Prometheus Bound by in which of the following poems who has written the Prometheus Bound? Prometheus Bound. Aeschylus. Excellent. Aeschylus has written. Okay, excellent. No, Aeschylus. Greek tragedy. Prometheus Bound. Okay. Prometheus Bound by Aeschylus. The Greek tragedy. Okay. Greek tragedy. Aeschylus, who has written the Oresteia trilogy, isn't it? Aeschylus has written. Aeschylus has written Oresteia trilogy, and here another famous one is Prometheus Bound. Prometheus Unbound is by P.B. Shelley, whereas Prometheus Bound is by Aeschylus. The moral, the world is not the reasonable place we are led to believe, and that all power corrupts, that one had to live with the darkness of man's heart, each conveyed through Lord of the Flies, Heart of Darkness, Pilgrim's Progress, none of these. The moral, that is, the world is not the reasonable place. Hello. Now, what would be the right answer here? The world is not the reasonable place we are led to believe. So here, Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies. Who has written Lord of the Flies? Now tell me, there are one is Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies. Who has written Lord of the Flies? William Golding, isn't it? William Golding. William Golding has written Lord of the Flies, and Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. J.R.R. Tolkien. रिंग से याद रखना, ठीक है, या रिंग से याद रखना, टोकिन, ठीक है, आर रिंग्स बाय आर J.R.R. Tolkien, whereas Lord of the Flies by William Golding, ठीक है. Lord of the Rings rings J.R.R. Tolkien, याद रखना है, ठीक है, William Golding. The poem Against Romanticism was written by Ezra Pound, T.S. Eliot's Kingsley Amis, none of the above. Against Romanticism. Against Romanticism. The poem Against Romanticism is a work by okay. Excellent. It is by Kingsley Amis. Against Romanticism is a poem by Kingsley Amis. Kingsley Amis has written Against Kingsley Amis. Okay, see. Kingsley Amis has written Against Romanticism. Next question. The character Atticus, important question. The character Atticus that figures in Epistle to Dr. Arbuthnot is a satirical portraiture of Joseph Addison, Richard Steele, Dryden, none of which. The character Atticus that figures in Epistle to Dr. Arbuthnot is a satirical portraiture of Addison, Steele, Dryden, none of which. Atticus is modeled on Atticus is modeled on Atticus याद रखना Atticus ऐसे याद रखना नहीं तो ऐसे याद रखना Atticus addition ठीक है AA ठीक है Atticus addition ठीक है AA Atticus addition. The character Atticus that figures in the episode of Dr. Arbuthnot is a satirical portraiture of Joseph Addison. Of Joseph Addison, isn't it? Joseph Addison. Joseph Addison is the right answer. ठीक है Atticus Joseph Addison. Okay. Samuel Johnson wrote the following in order to pay for his mother's funeral. Which work is this? Rasselas, Rambler, The Lives of the Poets, Dictionary. Rao, are you there? So you are in the second sem, is it, Anandita? You are in the second sem. First year, second sem. Okay, is it? Excellent. Excellent, Praveen. Samuel Johnson wrote the following in order to pay for his mother's funeral. Excellent. It is Rasselas. Rasselas is the right answer. Excellent. So Samuel Johnson wrote the following in order to pay for his mother's funeral. It is Rasselas. Excellent, Praveen. It is A is the right answer. And here is the explanation. Rasselas was written in 1 week to pay his mother's funeral and settle her debts. Okay, it became so popular that there was a new English edition also came out published. Okay, so Rasselas was written in 1 week to pay for his mother's funeral and to settle her debts. Okay, definitely this time you'll be able to crack out. Definitely. Try hard. Definitely. Success will come. Okay, you will overcome. Definitely you will overcome. The work 1985 was written by, yeah, so sad. So sad. Yes, Praveen, definitely, definitely. Then Anindya, do join the 10,000 MCQ series. Okay, I told that I had not. Okay, I had not completed. Okay, I have I have not completed yet, but okay, I will be providing one by one. Okay, so you can join. Even it is not possible to complete 10,000 MCQ. Okay, within 1 month. So give me some time. Okay, I'll be posting you. I'll be providing every things one by one. So 1985 here you see it is not George. So the work 1985 was written by, yes, do follow this channel and definitely okay. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. So the work 1985 was written by here Anthony Burgess. Anthony Burgess, he was heavily influenced by George Orwell 1984. Hmm. So George Orwell has written 1984. This was actually a dystopian novel. Dystopian novel. This is a dystopian novel. Okay. Dystopian novel. Whereas Anthony Burgess has written 1985. He was heavily influenced by the work of George Orwell. Got it? So, sorry, 1985 is a novel by English writer Anthony Burgess. Originally, this book published in 1978. It was inspired by and was intended as a tribute. It is a kind of tribute to George Orwell's novel 1984. 1984. And now, will you tell me 1984 was published in which year? The dystopian novel 1984 by George Orwell was published in which year? Tell me. 1984 was published. 1984 was published in 1949. I think it is in 1949. The novel, yeah, 1949. 1984, the dystopian novel was published in 1949. Okay, 1949. I am damn sure. 1949 is the right answer. No, 1949. You check it once more. Okay, probably it will be 1949. Check it once more. But as far as I can remember, that it will be 1949. Check it once more. Which writer is referred to as the child of Renaissance? Child of Renaissance. Spencer, T.S. Eliot, John Dryden, Shakespeare. Child of Renaissance. Child of Renaissance. Okay. John Dryden, T.S. Eliot, Shakespeare. Child of Renaissance. It is not Shakespeare. It is not Dryden. It is not T.S. Eliot. It is Spencer. Spencer is known as the child of Renaissance. Spencer. Spencer. Spencer is referred as child of Renaissance. Who is known as the Mulkraj Anand of America? Mulkraj Anand of America. Arthur Miller, Robert Frost, Emerson, Mother Teresa. Mulkraj Anand of America. Mulkraj Anand of America. Who is known as Mulkraj Anand of America? Do like the session, guys. Do like the session as well. Hmm. Hmm. Is it Robert Frost, Emerson, Mother Teresa? Excellent. Excellent. Arthur Miller, Anandita Subramshu Saurabh. Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller is known as the Mulkas Anand of America. It is Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller. Excellent. Excellent, everyone. Which poet is referred as the poet of terror? Which poet is referred to as the poet of terror? Robert Frost, Shakespeare, Wordsworth, John Keats. Which poet is referred as the poet of terror? Tell me. The poet of terror. Okay. Then, okay. No, the you should know. Okay, I earlier discussed that. Okay, that here Robert Frost is also known as terrifying poet. So terror and terrifying, isn't it? Okay, terrifying poet. ठीक So Robert Frost is known as terrifying poet. So that's why terror, poet of terror, Robert Frost. Robert Frost got Pulitzer Prize 4 times. Okay, Pulitzer Prize 4 times. ठीक Robert Frost got Pulitzer Prize 4 times. ठीक So terrifying poet, Robert Frost is known as terrifying poet, and here a poet of the terror is Robert Frost. Robert Frost was awarded with prestigious Pulitzer Prize 4 times, but he had not received any Nobel Prize. Who is considered England's first historian? Beat T.S. Eliot's John Dryden Emerson. Who is considered as England's first historian? England's first historian. Who is considered as England's first historian? Now tell me. Robert, so you know that Robert Frost is known as terrifying poet, isn't it? Terrifying poet, the poet of terror, and he got Pulitzer Prize how many times? 4 times. 4 times. Okay, he got Pulitzer Prize 4 times, but he did not receive any Nobel Prize. Here, Beat's ecclesiastical history. Beat's ecclesiastical history. Yeah, it is Beat. Okay, and Beat, the first historian considered. Yeah, excellent. So, who is considered England's first historian? It is Beats. Okay, excellent. Next question. Lionel Trilling asserts that a sense of the past is necessary to read literature. Otherwise, one would be like a Patris at the play. Ecclesiastical history of England. Wholly without the historical sense. Patris at the play is connected to which work? Lionel Trilling has asserted that a sense of the past is necessary to read literature. Okay. Otherwise, one would be like a Patris at the play, wholly without historical sense. So, Patris at the play is connected to which work? Options are Oliver Twist, Paradise Lost, Tom Jones, Wuthering Heights. So, Paradise Lost is the wrong option. Now, you have Oliver Twist, Tom Jones, Wuthering Heights. You tell me. Now, tell me. Okay, Saurabh is saying, okay. No, it is not Oliver Twist, Saurabh. It is not Oliver Twist. So it is the right option is Tom Jones. Okay, Henry Fielding's Tom Jones. Tom Jones is the right. Tom Jones. And here, the history of Tom Jones, a foundling. This is the subtitle. Okay, a foundling, often known simply as Tom Jones. It's a comic novel by the English playwright and the novelist English playwright and novelist Henry Fielding. It is a Bildungsroman as well as a picaresque novel. Bildungsroman is the growth and development of the protagonist from his childhood. Okay, from his childhood to adulthood. Growth and development of the novel that depicts, okay, the growth and development of a hero from his childhood to adulthood. That is known as Bildungsroman. And here, history of Tom Jones, having the subtitle of Foundling, is a Bildungsroman as well as a picaresque novel written by Henry Fielding. It is the earliest novel, okay, mentioned by William Somerset Maugham in his 1948 book, The Great Novelists and Their Novels. Another important information: who has written the book Great Novelists and Their Novels? William Somerset Maugham. William Somerset Maugham has written Great Novelists and Their Novels. ठीक है? Growth of an artist. Exactly. Yeah. Growth of an, yeah. Excellent. And among the 10 best novels of the world. Excellent. The novel is highly organized despite its length. And Samuel Taylor Coleridge argued that it is one of the 3 most perfect plots ever planned. One is Oedipus Tyrannus. Second one is The Alchemist. The third one is Tom Jones. Okay. Tom Jones. Who is saying here? Samuel Taylor Coleridge has argued that it is one of the 3 most perfect plots ever planned. The plot of Oedipus Tyrannus, the plot of Alchemist by Ben Jonson, and Tom Jones by Henry Fielding. Remember all these things. Great novelists and their novels, the work by William Somerset Maugham, published in 1948. And 1949 में क्या published हुआ था? 1949 में the dystopian novel of George Orwell called 1984 was published. 1984 the dystopian novel was published in 1949. This is a dystopian novel. ठीक है? Dash isn't a character in Jane Austen's Emma. Catherine Morland, George Knightley, Harriet Smith, Frank Churchill. George Knightley, Harriet Smith, Frank Churchill. Dash is not a character in Jane Austen's Emma. Okay. Tomorrow onwards, I will be making videos on UGC NET paper 1 as well. ठीक है? Paper 1 as well. Paper 1 and as well on CUT PG paper 1 as well. ठीक है? Like reasoning and I like reasoning, some parts of reasoning as well. Okay. CUT PG part 1 as well. Don't worry. Okay. Dash is not a character in Jane Austen's Emma, Catherine Morland, George Knightley, but I will be focusing on UGC NET paper 1 as well. Paper 1 as well. Don't worry. Those who are UGC NET aspirants, okay. Tomorrow onwards, I will be making also. So Dash is not a character in Jane Austen's Emma. Here, George Knightley, Harriet Smith, and Frank Churchill, these are all characters from Emma. Whereas Catherine Morland, remember Catherine Morland is a character in Northanger Abbey. Okay, Northanger Abbey. ठीक है? Northanger Abbey is the novel where Catherine Morland appeared. So Catherine Morland is the right answer. Catherine Morland is a character from Northanger Abbey. Northanger Abbey is a coming of age novel or the Bildungsroman satire. It is coming up as well. Also, it is a satire of Gothic novels. It is a satire of Gothic novel. Was written by Jane Austen. And Austen was influenced by Charlotte Lennox, the female Cute. The female Cute had influenced Northanger Abbey. Northanger Abbey was completed in 1803. First Austen's novel completed in full, but was published posthumously in 1817 with Persuasion. Remember that Northanger Abbey was published along with Persuasion in 1817, posthumously after the death of Jane Austen. The story concerns Catherine Morland, the naive young protagonist, her journey to a better understanding of herself and of the world around her. How Catherine views the world has been distorted by her fondness for Gothic novels and active imagination. So Northanger Abbey is a coming of age story. And it is satire of Gothic novel. So which novel of Jane Austen is satire of Gothic novel? It is Northanger Abbey. It was published posthumously along with Persuasion, another novel. Okay. Which novel influenced? It is Charlotte Lennox, the female Quixote, published in 1752. This novel influenced Jane Austen to write Northanger Abbey. Got it? In which year the Seven Types of Ambiguity by William Emerson published? So here seven types. William Emerson, the new critic, here. In which year was the Seven Types of Ambiguity by William Emerson published? 1927, 20, 30, 35, 30, 1922. So here new critic was saying that text is autotelic. What are the views of new critic? They are saying that text is autotelic. Text is autotelic. It is self-content. It is self-content. Okay. Content. They are focusing. Which one? They are focusing close reading. Okay. If you want to know the meaning of a text, you have to read very closely. Text is autotelic. It is self-content. Close reading is needed in order to understand any meaning. So, Seven Types of Ambiguity, William Emerson published in 1930. In 1930, Seven Types of Ambiguity was published, okay, by William Emerson. So here, new critic is a kind of reaction against the biographical criticism, against the biographical criticism. ठीक है? New criticism. They are saying the text is autotelic, it is self-content, and close reading is needed to understand any text. Okay, so this is here Seven Types of Ambiguity by William Emerson. 1930 is the right answer. Now quiz questions are okay. Who said Fairy Queen? Okay, Fairy Queen as lack of unity. Okay, Fairy Queen as a lack of unity. One, Dr. Samuel Johnson. Then number two is you have Dryden, Spencer, Dryden. Then you have Coleridge. Then A.C. Bradley. Fairy Queen has lack of unity. Who has said? Fairy Queen has a lack of unity. Watch. It is not Johnson. Okay, it is not Johnson Subramsu. So it is not Johnson. It is Dryden. Dryden said. Okay, Fairy Queen is lack of unity. It was Dryden. Who said Fairy Queen as a lack of unity. And Fairy Queen was published in 1590. The first part came in 1590. It's an incomplete work, isn't it? Incomplete, unfinished work. Okay, unfinished work. 1590 is the right answer. 1590 is the first volume came in 1590. Fairy Queen first appeared in 1590, isn't it? 1590. This is an incomplete work. This is an incomplete, unfinished work by Fairy Queen. Okay. And here lack of unity by Dryden. Okay, who has called Fairy Queen? As dark conceit. Who has called Fairy Queen as dark conceit? Now tell me. Options: Samuel Johnson, Dryden, then you have T.S. Eliot, and here you have Spencer himself. Fairy Queen has dark conceit. Fairy Queen has dark conceit. Who has said Fairy Queen has dark conceit? Fairy Queen has dark conceit. Fairy Queen has dark conceit. Yeah. Spencer himself. Spencer himself has said that Fairy Queen has dark conceit. Okay. Lag of Unity by Dryden, and Spencer himself, okay, called Fairy Queen as dark conceit. What are the two parts of Langland's Pierce the Plowman? Two parts of Pierce the Plowman. But Pierce Plowman. Two parts of Pierce the Plowman. Visu and Vita. Two parts of who has written Pierce the Plowman? Dark conceit is actually allegorical. Okay. So two parts of Pierce the Plowman, Visu and Vita. Langland's. Now tell me another important work. Okay. Tell me another important. Okay, Jocasta. Jocasta is a work by Jocasta, published in 1566, was written by Thomas Rhymer, George Gascoigne, Marlowe, and Lilly. Jocasta is a work by I have qualified once. Now I teach at a school. Actually, I'm a school teacher. Okay. So Jocasta, here George Gascoigne. Okay, George Gascoigne. जॉर्ज गैस्क्वेज ने। चलो, I have qualified once. Okay. I have qualified WB set, NET 1, GATE twice, MH set and Northeast set. Excellent. चलो, who has written Vedic? An Arabian tale. Okay, options are William Beckford, then you have George Gascoigne. Hmm. Hmm. Beckford has written, okay. William Beckford has written Vedic and Arabian Tale. Vedic and Arabian Tale by William Beckford. Chalo. Okay, I'll be ending the session here. 11 is it is 11 o'clock. Okay, I'll be ending the session here. Okay. Too much tired? ठीक है. चलो. See you soon tomorrow. Okay. I'll be ending here. Okay. Good night, everyone. Thank you for your patience. William Beckford has been Vedic and Arabian Tale. Read the story, okay? Read the story Arabic. Okay, I have told. Read the story Arabic. Arabic and metamorphosis. Okay. Read the story Arabic metamorphosis. Okay. I think you have read the story metamorphosis, but you should read also. Okay, Arabic by James Joyce. Part of Dubliners. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Chalo. Let's end. Good night to everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hmm. Hmm. Chalo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.